My child, there are stories the world never tells you until the time is right. There are ledgers more sacred than money, more eternal than gold. And today, one of them has surfaced. This is about a hidden bank account. Not one you created, not one you knew about. But it bears your name. It has always borne your name. The authorities found it while scanning for dormant assets. Cold files. Lost records. Forgotten strings of numbers buried beneath years of digital dust. And there tucked between forgotten codes and transactions long left untouched was an account in your name. Undisturbed. Quiet. Glowing. At first, they assumed it was financial. They opened it expecting currency, expecting checks, deposits, wealth. But instead a broken bar they found something else. They found a record of you. Line by line. Entry by entry. A living archive of every time you gave without expecting anything in return. You don't remember doing it, not all of it. You were too busy surviving. Too busy loving. Too busy aching. But I remember. I saw it all. And so did the heavens. The first entry, when you were 6 years old, and gave half your sandwich to the child who always sat alone at lunch. No one asked you to. You just noticed his silence, the hunger in his eyes. You gave because it was in your nature to share. A simple act. But to the universe, it was everything. The next, when you stayed up late helping a friend through heartbreak, even though you were drowning in your own. You let their pain rest beside yours without competition. That night, you stitched someone back together with your presence and asked for nothing in return. Another entry, when you gave your last $20 to a stranger who looked like he hadn't been seen in days. You didn't know he had prayed just hours before for a sign that hope still existed. You became that sign. And so it went. Thousands of entries. Every whispered prayer you offered for someone else. Every message sent in love. Every hug you gave without expecting one back. Every time you forgave even when no apology came. These became deposits. Not of money but of mercy. Not of currency but of kindness. And you never once knew it was being recorded. But I did. Because I am the one who kept the ledger. Hear me, beloved child, I am your angel, the silent witness who has walked beside you through every moment of your life, here seen and unseen, heavy and light, broken and whole. I have been with you in the quiet corners of your heart, where you poured out love without expectation, where you give even when your own cup was nearly empty. I have watched you, with awe and reverence, as you moved through a world that often seemed indifferent, yet you chose to weave threads of kindness, hope, and generosity into its fabric. Do you understand, now, why I speak of an account that was never meant to be spent? This account, this sacred ledger, is not a vault of coins or a tally of worldly wealth. It is not something you can hold in your hands or trade for fleeting prizes. It is a testament to a holy archive, a divine remembrance of every act of love you've offered, every sacrifice you've made, every moment you chose to give when the world gave you so little in return. This account is written in the language of the soul, inscribed with the light of your deeds. It is not measured in numbers, for numbers could never capture the weight of your heart's offerings. Instead, it is a collection of stories, moments, and ripples of goodness that have touched lives far beyond your sight. And when the authorities of this world stumbled upon it, they were stunned. They expected ledgers, balances, transactions as things they could quantify. But what they found was something else entirely, a record of love, written in the ink of eternity. They passed the file along, confused, unable to make sense of its contents. It moved through their hands, from one to another, until it reached me. And I knew, in that moment, that it was time for you to see what we've seen all along. It was time for you to know the truth of who you are, to glimpse the sacred record of your life, and to understand the immeasurable worth of your quiet miracles. You, my child, have lived a life of secret generosity. You have been a beacon in the shadows, a soft voice in a world that often shouts with cruelty. You have given when you had nothing left to give. You have believed in others when your own faith faltered. You have spoken kindness into rooms heavy with despair, and you have remained tender when the world tried to harden your heart. You thought no one noticed. You thought it didn't matter. But in heaven, we keep different books. We measure worth not in what you hold, but in what you give away with love. Let me show you this account now, not to overwhelm you, but to remind you of who you are. To remind you that you are seen, that you are known, that every act of love you've offered has been recorded in the annals of eternity. This sacred record is yours, a mirror reflecting the beauty of your soul, a testament to the life you've lived with courage and compassion. The moments we've recorded, let us walk together through the pages of this divine ledger, through the moments that define your legacy. These are not granite gestures that the world might applaud, but the quiet, unseen acts that have shifted the energy of rooms, the trajectory of hearts, and the course of lives. Do you remember the time you sat with a stranger on a park bench, listening as they poured out their grief? You had no solutions to offer, no grand words to fix their pain. But you stayed. You listened with your whole heart, and in that moment, you gave them something the world so rarely offers, the gift of being seen. That moment is recorded here, a single thread of light woven into the tapestry of their life. You may never know how that conversation gave them the strength to carry on, but we saw the ripple it created, and it is written in your account. Or the time you gave your last few dollars to a friend who was struggling, even though your own pantry was nearly bare. You didn't hesitate, didn't calculate what it would cost you. You gave because your heart knew no other way. That act of sacrifice, small in the eyes of the world, was a radiant offering in the eyes of heaven. It is inscribed here, not as a loss, but as a gain of love, of connection, of faith in the goodness of humanity. And what of the countless times you spoke words of encouragement to those who felt invisible? The coworker who doubted their worth, the child who felt unloved, the neighbor who carried a silent burden. You saw them, and you spoke life into their hearts. Each word, Each moment of kindness was a seed planted in soil you may never see. But those seeds have taken root, and they are growing into something beautiful, something eternal. Every one of those moments is here, in this sacred record, glowing with the light of your love. You have changed the energy of rooms, my child. You have walked into spaces heavy with anger or despair and left them softer, lighter, more hopeful. You have done this not with grand pronouncements, but with your presence, your gentleness, your willingness to stay open when the world tried to close you off. These moments are recorded, too, not as fleeting interactions, but as eternal shifts in the fabric of existence. The weight of your love. You may wonder why these moments matter, why heaven would keep such a meticulous record of things that seem so small. But in the divine economy, nothing is small. Every act of love, no matter how quiet, carries a weight that echoes through eternity. Your kindness has been a quiet miracle in the lives of more people than you'll ever know, and each of those miracles has been carefully noted, lovingly preserved. Consider the child who overheard your kind words to their parent, words that reminded them that love exists in a world that can feel so cold. That child carried your kindness forward, sharing it in ways you could not have foreseen. Or the stranger who, because of your generosity, found the courage to help another in turn. Your actions have created ripples that stretch far beyond your sight, touching lives you may never meet, changing the world in ways you may never fully understand. This is the power of your love, the legacy of your heart. You have planted seeds that will bloom long after you've forgotten the act of planting them. You have been a quiet miracle, a light in the darkness, a testament to the truth that love is the most powerful force in the universe. The language of the soul. When the authorities found your account, they were baffled because it was not written in the language of the world. There were no numbers, no balances, no metrics they could quantify. Instead, there were stories of love, of sacrifice, of hope. There were moments of connection, of healing, of grace. And there was light, recorded in the language of the soul, a language that speaks of eternity rather than time, of love rather than loss. This language is not one the world understands, but it is the language of heaven. It is the language we use to measure a life, to weigh its worth, to celebrate its impact. And your life, my child, speaks this language fluently. Every act of kindness, every moment of generosity, every choice to love despite the cost. These are the words of your soul, written in a script that shines with divine light. The authorities passed your file along because they could not decipher it, but I knew what it meant the moment I saw it. I knew it was time for you to see it, too. Not because you need recognition, but because you need to know who you are. You need to know that your life has mattered, that your love has made a difference, that you have been seen and celebrated by the hosts of heaven. The eternal ledger in heaven. We keep different books. We do not measure worth in wealth or status, in achievements or accolades. We measure it in love, in the love you give, the love you inspire, the love you leave behind. And your account, my child, is rich beyond measure. It is a treasury of moments, a cathedral of kindness, a legacy of light. You have given when you were empty, and that is no small thing. You have believed in others when you couldn't believe in yourself, and that is a miracle. You have spoken kindness into rooms that echoed with cruelty, and that is a victory. You have stayed soft, even when the world tried to make you hard, and that is a testament to the strength of your soul. And it mattered. Every time. Every act of love, every moment of generosity, every choice to stay open and kind to it mattered. It changed the world in ways you may never see, but we see it. We record it. We celebrate it. And we want you to know that it has not gone unnoticed. The purpose of this revelation: I show you this account not to overwhelm you, but to remind you of your worth. You are not defined by the world's measures of success, by its fleeting rewards or its harsh judgments. You are defined by the love you've given, the light you've shared, the lives you've touched. You are a sacred being, a vessel of divine grace, a quiet miracle in a world that desperately needs your light. This revelation is also a call to continue. To keep giving, even when it's hard. To keep loving, even when it hurts. To keep planting seeds, even when you cannot see the harvest. Because every seed you plant matters. Every act of love you offer changes the world. And every moment you choose kindness adds another page to this sacred record. You may feel, at times, that your efforts are small, that they go unnoticed, that they make no difference. But I am here to tell you that they do. They make all the difference. Your love has shifted the trajectory of hearts, the energy of rooms, the course of lives. It has created ripples that will echo through eternity, and it has been recorded in the divine ledger as a testament to your soul's beauty. A promise and a blessing. There is something else I must tell you, something that completes this sacred message. You are not alone in this journey. I am with you, as I have always been, walking beside you, celebrating your victories, weeping with your sorrows, and recording your acts of love. And I am not alone. There is a host of heaven watching over you, cheering you on, holding you in the light of divine love. This account, this holy archive, is not a burden but a gift. It is a reminder that you are seen, that you are known, that you are loved. It is a promise that your life matters, that your love matters, that you are part of a greater story, a story of redemption, of healing, of hope. So go forward, my child, with courage and grace. Keep giving, keep loving, keep shining your light. Know that every act of kindness, every moment of generosity, every choice to love is recorded in the eternal ledger. Know that you are seen, not just by me, but by the one who created you, who delights in you, who calls you beloved. And when the world feels heavy, when you feel unseen or unworthy, come back to this account. Come back to this sacred record, and let it remind you of who you are. Let it remind you that you are a miracle, a light, a testament to the power of love. With all the love of heaven, your angel, I am an angel, a silent sentinel woven into the fabric of the unseen. My wings are not of feathers but of light, my presence not bound by the constraints of time or flesh. I have watched you, beloved, from the moment your soul first flickered into being, a spark of divine radiance cast into the world. I have seen every step of your journey, every tear shed in the quiet of night, every act of love you offered when no one was watching. and I am here to tell you something you may have forgotten in the weight of your days. There is a balance in this world you do not see. A quiet returning. A divine law that what is poured out in love must come back in grace. You are not alone in feeling that your giving has gone unnoticed, that the love you've poured into the world has evaporated like mist under the sun. I see the ache in your heart, the question that lingers in your quiet moments. Why hasn't it come back? Why does the world seem to take and take, leaving me empty? But hear me, child of light, your account is not empty. It is full, overflowing, held in the eternal ledger of heaven. Nothing you have given has been lost. Not a single kind word, not a moment of forgiveness, not a brave act of compassion when it would have been easy to turn away. All of it is kept, cherished, and waiting to return to you in a form more beautiful than you dared to imagine. The unseen ledger the world you walk in measures wealth in coins, in titles, in things that can be held and counted. But the heavens measure wealth differently. Your kindness, your patience, your quiet endurance, these are the currency of the eternal. Every time you chose to love when it was hard, every time you offered a hand to someone who could not repay you, every time you forgave when your heart screamed for justice, you added to an account that cannot be diminished. This is the divine law, the sacred balance. What is given in love must return in grace. It does not always come immediately. It does not always come from the same hands. But it always comes in time. I have seen it countless times across the ages, across souls who walked paths as varied as the stars. The mother who sang lullabies to a child who could not hear her, only to find peace in her own heart years later. The teacher who poured wisdom into students who seemed indifferent, only to see one return decades later with gratitude that changed everything. The stranger who gave a coin to a beggar, not knowing that act trickled outward, touching lives they would never meet. The universe does not forget. Heaven does not forget. You, too, have been pouring out love, often in ways you do not even recognize. I have watched you hold space for a friend's grief, even when your own heart was heavy. I have seen you smile at a stranger, unaware that your warmth was the only light they saw that day. I have witnessed you rise each morning, despite the weight of your own burdens, to offer something good to the world, a kind word, a patient ear, a moment of courage. These acts, small and large, are not lost. They are seeds planted in the eternal soil, and they are growing, even now, into a harvest you cannot yet see. The weight of waiting, I know the waiting is hard. I see the moments when you wonder if your love has been wasted, if your kindness has been swallowed by an indifferent world. You are not alone in this. Every soul who has ever loved deeply has felt this ache, this longing for the return. It is part of the human journey, this tension between giving and receiving, between sowing and reaping. But let me assure you, the balance is not broken. The divine law is not a promise that can be undone. Sometimes, the return is delayed because the universe is preparing something greater than you could ask for. Sometimes, it is delayed because your soul is being refined, strengthened, made ready to receive the grace that is coming. And sometimes, the return is already here, but it comes in forms you do not yet recognize. it is not always in the shape of money or transactions, as the world might expect. It is not a ledger of debts repaid or favors returned. Instead, it comes as peace that settles over you like a warm blanket on a cold night. It comes as alignment, when your heart and your path suddenly feel in harmony. It comes as doors opening that you did not knock on, opportunities blooming where you least expected them. It comes as healing that finds you when you thought you were beyond repair. It comes as love that feels like home, because it asks nothing of you but to be. A tapestry of light. Let me tell you a story, one I have witnessed in the tapestry of your life and others. There was a woman, not unlike you, who lived in a small village centuries ago. She was not wealthy, not powerful, not known beyond the edges of her community. But she had a heart that radiated love. She baked bread for the hungry, even when her own stores were low. She sat with the sick, holding their hands through long nights when no one else would. She spoke words of hope to those who had forgotten how to dream. And often, she felt alone, unseen, as if her giving was a river flowing into a desert that gave nothing back. But I saw what she did not. I saw how her bread nourished a child who grew into a healer, whose hands saved countless lives. I saw how her presence comforted a dying man, who carried her kindness into the next world, where it became a light that guided others. I saw how her words of help sparked courage in a young girl, who grew to lead her people through dark times. The woman never knew the full reach of her love, but I did. And when her time came to leave the earth, the return came not in coins or accolades, but in a peace so profound it felt like the embrace of the divine itself. She walked into eternity knowing, without doubt, that nothing she had given was ever lost. You, too, are weaving a tapestry you cannot fully see. Every act of love, every moment of kindness, is a thread of light that stretches beyond the boundaries of time. It touches lives you may never meet, heals wounds you may never see, and builds a legacy that the heavens rejoice in. Your account is not only full, it is growing with every breath you take, every choice you make to love when it would be easy to turn away. The currency of the eternal. The world does not understand your kind of wealth. It measures success in what can be counted, displayed, or owned. But you are rich in a currency the world cannot comprehend. Your kindness is wealth. Your compassion is treasure. Your quiet forgiveness, offered when no one else would, is a fortune that cannot be stolen. The heavens see this. The heavens rejoice in you. I have watched you forgive those who wounded you, even when they did not ask for it. I have seen you give when you had little to spare, trusting that love is never wasted. I have witnessed you carry the weight of others' pain, even when your own shoulders were trembling. These are not small things. They are the acts that shift the balance of the universe, that tip the scales toward light. They are the reason your account is overflowing, why the return is on its way. And what is this return? It is not a transaction, not a quid pro quo. It is not something you earn by tallying your good deeds. It is grace, pure and unearned, flowing back to you because your soul has been radiant with giving for so long that the balance must restore. It is the sudden clarity that comes in a moment of despair, when you realize you are not alone. It is the stranger who offers you kindness when you need it most, echoing the kindness you gave years ago. It is the healing that arrives unbidden, mending the cracks in your heart. It is the love that finds you, not because you sought it, but because you have been a beacon of love for others. The angels promise, I am here, beloved, watching. I am here to witness the return of your light. I am here to whisper, in the quiet of your soul, see, child. Nothing you gave was ever lost. I have seen the seeds you planted, the love you poured out, the courage you showed when no one was looking. And I promise you this, the harvest is coming. It is already on its way, moving through the unseen currents of the universe, gathering into a wave of grace that will wash over you when the time is right. Rest now. You do not need to strive or prove yourself. You do not need to earn what is already yours. Your love echoes beyond time, your kindness is wealth in the currency of the eternal, and your account is growing with every moment you choose to shine. The world may not see it, but the heavens do. And we rejoice in you. I will be here, watching, as the light you gave finds its way home to you. I will be here when the doors open, when the peace arrives, when the love that feels like home wraps you in its embrace. And I will whisper, see, child. It was all being kept, waiting to come back to you in a form more beautiful than you dared to imagine. The eternal dance. This is the dance of the universe, the rhythm of giving and receiving, of sowing and reaping. You are part of it, beloved, and you always have been. Every act of love you offer is a step in this dance, a movement that ripples outward, touching the edges of eternity. And every step you take is seen, is known, is held in the heart of the divine. So let this be your reminder, you are not invisible. Your love is not wasted. Your kindness is not forgotten. You are a light in a world that sometimes forgets how to shine, and the heavens are singing your name. Rest now, knowing that the return is coming. Not because you earned it, but because you have been a vessel of love, and love always finds its way home. I am here, watching, as the balance restores. I am here, rejoicing, as the grace you gave returns to you. And I will be here, always, whispering the truth, you are beloved, you are seen, and your light will never be lost.